Hey there, and welcome into the Daily Dynasty Show. My name is Spencer Smith, and today I am joined by none other than Cayden Kubler. Cayden, what's up, bro?
Spencer, appreciate you having me, my guy. Very excited to be on the show, and it's going to be a great one.
Absolutely, man. Well, on today's episode, we're talking some studs and duds over the weekend, 3 games to highlight from Sunday, and a draft. We're drafting the top 5 comic book / movie villains. In our opinion, you don't want to miss a thing. Let's go. Alrighty, Cayden. Well, I'm super excited that you're here today, and let's just go ahead and kick things off with this 3-game highlight. Now, I texted you before the episode, and we're going to highlight these 3 games. Now, during the news, we can also maybe highlight, some players or whatever if it pops up, but let's just start here with the first one. The Denver Broncos and the New York Giants. Man, what a game. I mean, the Broncos were absolute dookie butt for 3 quarters, and then in the 4th quarter, they scored 33 points to win by a point. Cayden, what was your take of this entire game and both teams going forward?
Yeah, it feels like with the Denver Broncos right now, they've almost been like the cardiac commanders of last year. I mean, they've been able to win in a multitude of ways late. They did the same thing against the Eagles a few weeks ago, and now we saw it here, 33 points in the 4th quarter, unbelievable offensive performance. I've had question marks about this team offensively this season. It almost seems like they've taken a little bit of a step back from last year. They've come down to earth a little bit, but when you win, it gives you this almost hall pass to not really look at these glaring issues. It's similar to the Philadelphia Eagles with the issues that they've had. Right. When you look at teams, when they win football games, these glaring issues aren't as bad. So for the Broncos, obviously a huge win. Now looking at the New York Giants, they've got a guy at the quarterback position. We all understand that. Jackson Dart has got all of the intangibles. He's got the moxie. He's got the swagger. He can make any throw on the football field. He's got the mobility. There is so much to like about Jackson Dart. And obviously, it stings to lose this type of game where your kicker misses 2 extra points. But at the end of the day, if you are a Giants fan, knowing that you're going to get Malik Neighbors back next year, knowing that you're probably going to have a top 5 to top 10 pick with Dart and with Scatterboo, man, there is a lot to look forward to for this Giants team, and I'm very bullish on them for the future.
Man, me too. With this Giants team, it's something that I was saying after their win against the Eagles last week was this team, maybe they can scrap away some wins to maybe get in the playoffs this year. Probably not. And even if they did, they'd get booted in the first round. But I don't even know if they're going to make it as a wild card team. But what I do know is regardless, this team is fun to watch, win or lose. This team is fun to watch. They've got their guy, like you said, in Jackson Dart. Scatterbo, my goodness. I don't know if you heard that story. Sidebar here. I don't know if you heard that story from his mom about how, I guess as a kid, he was hitting light poles, and then that when he was finally playing football, it wasn't an issue for him to just bulldoze through these people. I mean, bro, he is so fun to watch, but it does sting, right? Like you said, it stings to lose one like this, 32-33. And yes, because your kicker loses 2 extra points, but also the Broncos had 0 points going into the 4th quarter. So there's other stuff here. There's the defense. There's the offense slowing down up until the 4th quarter when it's starting to become a shootout. But when it comes to this Giants team, when it comes to Brian Dable, do you think that he will be the head coach next season? And also, a second question to that would be, do you actually believe the rumors that before the trade deadline, they go after a wide receiver like a Chris Olave, like a Jalen Waddle?
I don't think there's any reason for them to be overly aggressive. I believe that Brian Dable should be the head coach moving forward. This was the guy that, when he was the offensive coordinator for the Bills, turned Josh Allen into one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's the reason why he ultimately got this New York job, because he turned Josh Allen into a premier guy, a future Hall of Famer, this absolute 6'5" monster of a quarterback. That's what Brian Dable built in Buffalo. So now you're looking at him not too far away in New York with an opportunity to do the same exact thing, to save his job. I get it, it's year 4, but you look at what he did with Daniel Jones winning a playoff game and tip of the cap to Daniel Jones. He's playing at an unbelievable level right now. But for
yeah.
Brian Dable, you've got to let him cook here. We're seeing too much of these coaches that are struggling right now in year one with these quarterbacks, like Brian Callahan getting booted with Cam Ward. They've been on the struggle bus because these teams have been bad, but I feel like for New York, they've been in a really good position to win some of these football games with Jackson Dart. I believe you've got to stay with Dable. I believe he gives you a way higher upside, and he's going to develop Dart into an absolute stud.
Absolutely. And, when it comes to what you just said about the coaching, not getting rid of Dable maybe so quickly, and yes, it is year 4, but again, when they won that playoff game with Daniel Jones, was Daniel Jones really Dable's guy? Probably not. And find me somebody last week when Jackson Dart goes into the medical tent, find me somebody that looks at me the way Brian Dable looked at Jackson Dart when he came out of that medical tent and was able to go to finish the game against the Eagles. I mean, Dable loves Jackson Dart. This is his guy. So to your point, I definitely believe that we got to see how this thing goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think for Brian Dable to instill this confidence into Dart, I mean, it was rough the first 3 weeks of the season when Russell Wilson was the starter. They couldn't do anything offensively, and you needed a surge. This was what Brian Dable had to do to effectively save his job. Now, I'm not insinuating that he was going to get fired, but I think if you keep rolling with Russell Wilson, trying to save Jackson Dart for as long as possible, you're going to put yourself into a really rough situation. He had to make this decision, just like Shane Steichen in Indianapolis. Hey, you took Anthony Richardson 4th overall, but you're going to make Daniel Jones the starting quarterback to save your job potentially. Now it's only year 3 for him, but it's year 4 for Brian Dable. But he does have the playoff win. He's got the rookie quarterback. You got Neighbors. You got Scatteroo. You're probably going to have a top 5 pick. This is a young New York Giants team, and I think Brian Dable's the right guy to get it done.
I love it, man. I agree. Now, flipping here to the Denver Broncos, something that you pointed out was, yes, when you win, it does maybe shadow or put in the background some of the issues. And like you said, the Eagles, right? They dealt with that in 2023 when Brian Johnson was there as the offensive coordinator. They went on a 9 or 10 game win streak to start the season, and then it was really ugly. And there were signs, and then it got really ugly. This year, you win 4 games. It got ugly for 2 weeks. You squeak a win by 6 points here this week. When it comes to the Denver Broncos and the fact that they couldn't score a point until the 4th quarter, then they go on a historic quarter. But what do you have to say about this Broncos team? I mean, listen, take away the 4th quarter. They were awful for 3 quarters against this Giants team. Now, again, an incredible win. I don't want to take that away. But what do you have to say about this Broncos team maybe going forward this season?
Yeah, I mean, like I keep saying, winning, it does solve everything, but there are definitely some underlying issues with this team. You could look at the last 3 weeks. The offense has really been a point of concern. I mean, against Philadelphia, they did win 21-17, but I want to say they scored all 21 points in the 4th quarter. They finally turned it around. Same thing this week, 33 points in the 4th quarter. I know you're in London last week, so I'll give them maybe a little bit of a break there, but they only had 13 points against the Jets. Realistically, that is 3 weeks in a row where the offense has looked absolutely putrid outside of 2 quarters. So 10 out of 12 quarters, the offense has looked abysmal. But hey, when you're winning football games, just like Philadelphia, the offense hasn't looked the prettiest, but yet they're 5-2, so you can't say anything. Same thing with Denver. They are 5-2, so you can't say squat about this team. You understand that Bo Nix is still a tremendous quarterback. He's going to continue to develop. But the one thing I would say, Spencer, here is that I do believe that if there's a team outside of Buffalo that needs to go get a receiver at the deadline, it's got to be the Denver Broncos. I think Courtland Sutton is a tremendous player. You've got some good weapons outside. You've got Mims who made that great catch. You got Franklin. They need another receiver for Bo Nix, and it's clear to me that this offense it's having its miscues. They need more explosivity, and I think that's what getting a wide receiver at the deadline can do for you. Go be aggressive, because the AFC is not getting any easier, especially in your division.
Yeah, I agree. That was something that I didn't know if you were going to bring that up or not, but that was basically going to be my closing statements of this game was when it comes to the Broncos, they really, really do need to get another receiver. I mean, I like Troy Franklin. Mims is, he has his moments. I think Troy Franklin would be a great wide receiver 3 in this offense. Courtland Sutton, I like him. But imagine if he was either the wide receiver 1 to a Jalen Waddle or a wide receiver 2 to a Chris Olave or something like that. This team should be getting something because offensively, this running back room looked really, really good to start the season with Dobbins starting off strong. And, RJ Harvey being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. But like you just said, and over the last few weeks, we've really seen that explosivity really either come down or maybe it just started off too hot and now it's just maybe the dust is settling. So I definitely agree with you. They should definitely be aggressive before the trade deadline at getting another wide receiver. But speaking of aggressive, let's talk about this Cowboys and Commanders game. I mean, this Cowboys team was incredible in this game offensively. Now, of course, you can say that maybe because Jayden Daniels went down that really stifled this Commanders' ability to come back in this game, which to that I would say, okay, I'll agree there. But this Cowboys-Commanders game, what was your takeaways after this game was over?
I think Dak Prescott is playing like a top 3 quarterback in football. I can't say enough great things about Dak, and I know this may be hard for a lot of people to really understand because it's so easy to hate on the Cowboys, easy to hate on Jerry Jones. Oh, what are they doing with this Micah Parsons move? Let's give this team flowers for once because, man, this defense has not been amazing, but they played well yesterday. They got stops when they needed to, and if you can do that, this offense with CeeDee Lamb is arguably the best in football. I mean, Dak Prescott, another picture-perfect game, 264 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. CeeDee Lamb didn't miss a beat coming back. George Pickens with that beautiful catch when they were going down for that final drive before the first half was over with. I mean, I've just been blown away with this Cowboys team, Spencer, to be quite honest with you. I think they are so versatile offensively. Javonte Williams has had a big season. Speaking of the running back room for Denver earlier on. But I mean, man, Dak Prescott, I genuinely believe that maybe outside of Mahomes and Baker Mayfield, I don't think there are any quarterbacks playing the position better than him right now. I think Dak is a guy that we've got to really seriously think about, like, man, if this defense is a little better, he might win the MVP. And 2 years ago, he came in second place for that MVP voting. I've been really, really impressed with what Dak Prescott has done this year.
Oh, I agree. And as a Philly fan, I couldn't agree more that he's got to be in that MVP conversation. Dak Prescott, before the season started this year, it was a pretty easy take. I feel like anybody who doesn't just outright hate the Cowboys and can be unbiased about that, it's a pretty easy take that if this offense stays healthy, if CeeDee can stay healthy and George Pickens, it's hard not to see him put up big numbers. I mean, last time he was fully healthy with CeeDee Lamb, he finished as a top 4 quarterback. And so, and like you said, came second in MVP voting. So I think that what we're seeing with this offense is exactly that. I mean, they're explosive. CeeDee Lamb's incredible. George Pickens in this offense is incredible. Javonte Williams, talk about missing that one. I was way off about this Cowboys running back room. Now, I did say before the season started, if there was a running back to get, it would have been Javonte Williams. But I believe I ended that by saying, but I wouldn't do it. And boy, was I wrong. Javonte Williams has been incredible this year. You can't be MVP of a losing team. But if they win enough games to get into the playoffs, I think Dak Prescott, if he keeps playing how he is, deserves to win the MVP. So I agree with you there. As far as this Commanders team goes, they couldn't really get too much going against this Commanders defense. I mean, wide receiver-wise, it was just nothing burgers. And again, to be fair, they were missing Dable. They were missing Terry McLaurin. So that was to be expected. Zach Ertz wasn't, amazing by any means. He got the touchdown, but you take the touchdown away, he only had, I believe, 3 receptions in that game. So not an incredible game by him. Jayden Daniels was looking good, but then, of course, he goes down. So I haven't personally seen an update about that. So if you have you seen an update about that?
Yeah. It looks like it's a hamstring injury similar to what Lamar Jackson's dealing with that could potentially mean that he's out for maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. They haven't put him on the IR, so he's not going to be out 4 weeks, it looks like. But where the Ravens were fortunate was that, hey, you get 2 weeks where you're probably going to lose, but then you get the bye week. Whereas the Commanders, I'm not sure exactly when their bye week is, but they need these wins as soon as possible because, man, they're 3-4 staring down the barrel of a really, really tough second half of the schedule.
Yeah, especially with the way Mariota came out and played, in that game. Earlier this season, we saw Daniels go down. Mariota came in and won the game. But the way he played yesterday when Daniels went out was just was putrid. Yeah, it was really, really bad. So if he misses 1 to 2 games, you gotta hope they can at best split that. Let's say he's out 2 games, you gotta hope they go 1-1. But if they were to go 0-2, that would be unfortunate. But Great. Love to hear that update. This Washington team, it's just injuries. Man, that's really been the story for them this year is, Terry's out. Debo's in. He's doing good, but then Daniels goes out. Daniels comes back in, but Debo and Terry are out, and now Daniels might be out the next 2 weeks. So injuries, I don't think it's any sort of like regression from Daniels' part. I think it's just injuries. He hasn't had his number one guy the majority of the season. Debo, again, he was missing. So I believe if this team was fully healthy, they'd be pretty solid. They'd be a pretty solid team, but the injury bug has just made its residency, and it hurts. It hurts. But another thing that hurt was watching this Sunday night football game. I can't lie to you. 49ers Falcons. What a boring game. Like, I was just watching that first half, and I want to say, I can't remember if the Falcons got that touchdown before the half or if it was coming out of the half. But I know that it was 7. Okay, coming out of the half. So it was 7-3 at halftime, I believe. And man, just a boring game. Like, Mac Jones did enough to win, 49ers did enough to win, and the Falcons just really couldn't get anything going. But when you were watching this game, what was your takeaway of these two teams?
Inconsistency for the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, it really has been the story of this team so far this year. They have the young pieces. They have the weapons. We can't forget that Michael Penix Jr. has only played 9 games in the NFL, and that's the reason why I'm still very excited about him, and I know Atlanta's excited about him too. But man, inconsistency. I mean, on that 3rd and 13 to when it was a 3-point game on the final drive for the 49ers to potentially make it a 6-point game if you stop them there. And the Falcons come out there, I don't know if you saw this, with 10 guys on the field, and they hit McCaffrey on the seam for an easy first down. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? And then you go back to the end of the first half. Michael Penix Jr. inside of the tackle box throws it out of bounds with no timeouts. They don't get points on the board when they were easily in field goal range. So 2 very head-scratching plays where I'm like, man, this team goes all the way up here, beating the Buffalo Bills on Monday night, and they go all the way down here, play to the San Francisco 49ers, who, let's face it, they shouldn't have won this game with all the injuries that they had. But you know what? Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh, these guys continue to have their players ready to go, and you've got to just say, man, Kyle Shanahan deserves the coach of the year, in my opinion. I mean, I've been blown away with what he's done. I would say Shanahan has been to the Super Bowl twice with the 49ers. I would say this is his most impressive season with the amount of injuries. I mean, at the end of the week, Spencer, you're looking at your grocery list saying, man, there are a lot of things on this list. I think the same exact thing when I look at the San Francisco 49ers injury report. I mean, it's Brock Purdy. It's Brandon Ayuk. It's George Kittle for the first 6 weeks. He finally came back. It's Nick Bosa. It's Fred Warner. It is never ending. Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. This 49ers team has never caught a break this year, yet Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh have been the 2 things that have been consistent, and they've been absolutely dynamite.
Yeah, and I love that Robert Saleh is there as the defensive coordinator because, RIP to his time with the Jets, but man, if he's not an incredible defensive coordinator. And that's what I was thinking watching this game. As somebody who's about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes from Mercedes-Benz Stadium here where I'm living. And so, growing up around a lot of Falcons fans, it's kind of been that same thing over the last couple of years. They have a couple of good weeks and then they come back down to earth. And I think here with Raheem Morris this season, I think what we're seeing, though, in my personal opinion, is he's not the best head coach. Great defensive coordinator. I do not like him as the head coach of this football team this season. Maybe he can show me something else next year, but so far this season, it's like if they get that great win over Buffalo, congratulations. But then you go against literally a nursing home in the 49ers, who they're literally having to wheelchair people out there. I mean, George Kittle goes out, does nothing, 0 for 2. For all intents and purposes, Mac Jones really didn't even do that much. He just managed enough to get the win. It was all CMC on this offense. All CMC on this offense. And the Falcons, again, like you said, inconsistency, head-scratching situations. Michael Penix holding on to the ball a little bit too long. He fumbles it, I believe. What was that, coming out of the half or right before the half? Just poor play all the way around. Didn't like it. But yeah, man, 49ers get another win that maybe they probably shouldn't right now. They're 5-2. And like you said, coach of the year so far by Shanahan. 5-2. This roster being 5-2. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It really is.
It's incredible. Yep. Let's move on here to some of the NFL news that's been going around. And I wanted to start here. I wanted to get your take on these quarterbacks that got that got benched in yesterday's game. So the first one, of course, was Tua. He gets benched for Quinn Ewers. Yesterday, Tua puts up 100 yards, 12 of 23, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Then, of course, the second one being Justin Fields getting benched for Tyrod Taylor. Both of these situations, the Jets, the Dolphins, both of these quarterbacks, Cayden, what's your take on maybe what these teams should be doing going forward and how you feel about each quarterback, Tua and then Justin Fields?
Yeah, I mean, I think as of right now, with how bad all of these teams are, it's time to evaluate what you've got. And we even saw Geno Smith get benched too. I mean, we want to start with the Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa. Mike McDaniel will get fired, and I don't believe that he should. I believe he's a great coach. Now, in terms of him being a head coach, maybe not so much, but I believe that he's one of the best offensive minds in football. They will get rid of him. Man, Tua Tagovailoa being paid $55 million per year, it looks like maybe more head scratching than trading for Deshaun Watson, if I'm being quite honest with you, Spencer. I mean, it is absolutely unbelievable. You've got to see what Quinn Ewers can give you at this point. You know what Tua is. You know who he is. No Tyreek Hill. Let's see what the young talent can give you. I don't envision him being the starting quarterback for this team next year. I envision them doing what maybe the Broncos did with Russell Wilson. You've got to move on from him. And then looking at Justin Fields, it's very tough. It's very, very tough to look at this situation. I don't know if it's necessarily all on him, and I know maybe people will get upset like, oh, how many excuses are we going to give Justin Fields? I understand it, but I think at the same time, I don't know if the design, the play calling, the strategy, I don't know if it's been that great. If I am the offensive play caller for New York, I'm saying, hey, we're throwing the ball to Garrett Wilson 50 times a game if we're going to throw the ball. Like, we're not throwing to anybody else. I'm sorry. We don't have any other talent on the outside. Mason Taylor's a good tight end, but like, come on. Let's throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. I genuinely think he could be a top 5 receiver in football if he had a Josh Allen throwing him the ball, maybe top 3. That's how good Garrett Wilson is, and yet he doesn't get the football. It's very discouraging to see, but it's time to hit the reset button. It's time to move on because, hey, we're 7 weeks into the NFL season here. You know what these quarterbacks are, and if you're not winning football games, hey, it's time to move on.
Hey, 100%. Now, let me ask you about those wide receivers at those teams. So you've got Jalen Waddle. This is a contract year for him. You got Garrett Wilson, who just signed the contract. So it's two different situations. But if you're the Dolphins, are you trading away Jalen Waddle? And if you're Garrett Wilson, so maybe answer that one second. If you're Garrett Wilson, are you staying there? Again, you just signed the contract, so I understand maybe on one hand you may or may not have a choice, but this Jets team is so much more worse than the hype that was surrounding it. Going into the season, you bring in Justin Fields, there's that Ohio State connection, it's going to be incredible. Okay, yeah, I'll sign that contract. Man, this is bad. This is really, really bad for both.
Yeah, I think you've got to trade these weapons. And I know it sounds bad to say, but you look at the teams that have had success in the NFL over the last few years, they start by building within the trenches. We saw this with the Lions. We saw this with the Chargers when they went and drafted Joe Alt. You've got to build within the trenches first. You can't just take these pretty weapons on the outside if you've got nobody to throw them the football. You've got to nail the quarterback first. For the Dolphins, they don't have a quarterback. For the Jets, they don't have a quarterback. And realistically, if the Dolphins are going to move on from Tua, that is going to be an enormous cap hit. So it's like, okay, you're going to already have to pretty much take on that entire load. And then already you're probably going to get rid of Tyreek Hill. You might as well get rid of Jalen Waddle and just completely refresh, completely hit the reset button, because this is a bad situation, and you're going to be paying so much money. You need draft capital. You need draft capital, and you need young players. Start addressing the trenches. And then for the Jets, same exact thing. You don't have a quarterback. You're wasting the prime years of Garrett Wilson. Get what you can get for him right now. Get him off the books and hit the reset button, because, man, what is paying Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson all this money do if you have 20 other voids on this team that you can't figure out?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that I want to go back to something that you said real quick, and then we're going to switch to another quarterback that is he's a controversial figure out there. But Justin Fields, I am on the side of the fence still, and people don't like it, that not every situation he's been in has been great, other than Pittsburgh, but then they bench him. So you look at Justin Fields, he's with the Jets, with a brand new head coach, and the only weapon he has is Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, and that's really it. Justin Fields in this play calling has not been suited to his strengths. So if you want to say it's excuses, you can say it's excuses, whatever. But him being benched, this is just the Jets being another Jets situation. They're terrible play calling and then blaming it all on him, essentially, that he's not making up for this terrible play calling. I don't think Justin Fields is that level of QB. that he can make up for bad play calling, like the one I'm about to point to. But Justin Fields, if he was just in a better situation, and I know that sounds like excuses, but I'm telling you, if he was in a better situation, I do believe he's a top 16 quarterback in the NFL. And if that's at 16, okay, that's fine, QB 16. But he is not a bottom 5 QB in the NFL, in my personal opinion. And let me ask you this. If Justin Fields was on the Dolphins, would the Dolphins be a better offense?
I think yes, because of the fact that Mike McDaniel turned Tua Tagovailoa into what seemed to be a top 10 quarterback in 2022 when they was it 20 yeah, it was 2023 2023 when they went 11-6, had like a top 3 offense in every single metric. That's the greatness of Mike McDaniel as a play caller, as a head coach, as an offensive mastermind. I think we can sit here and say that McDaniel, with a more talented quarterback who has a bigger arm, who's more mobile, who can make plays outside of the pocket, would absolutely be more successful with Justin Fields.
Love it. Well, I want to move on to another quarterback that I truly don't know where you stand. I mean, hey, listen, I've been into the lives before with you and Guru and those guys, but I haven't heard you talk about him. So I'm gonna bring this stat up, and then let's just go back and forth on how we feel about this guy. Jalen Hurts is the first player this season to have a game with a perfect passer rating. He threw for 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and of course, both of his top receivers having over 100-yard games. Cayden, where are you at with Jalen Hurts? I'll tell you where I'm at. I want to be honest here. And as unbiased as humanly possible, I know I'm an Eagles fan, but as unbiased as humanly possible, Jalen Hurts is top 5 in the league. Now, that's my opinion. Cayden, where are you at with Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to putting Jalen Hurts within the top 5. I would probably have him around 7 or 8. I think he's absolutely a top 10 quarterback in football. I believe that Jalen Hurts, when you look at his DNA, when you look at the way that God created him, he created him with winning. He is an absolute winner on the football field every single day. I mean, it is unbelievable the way that he plays the game. And I truly believe that maybe the Philadelphia Eagles just want to lose a few games, Spencer, so that Jalen Hurts can get a chip on his shoulder, so that he can get all pissed off, and then he can just absolutely dominate people. And I feel like that's what we're witnessing right now with the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, I looked, because I made a video about it this morning, actually, where I'm like, man, Jalen Hurts only delivers. He's got winning embedded into his DNA, and you can't leave him off the list of one of your elite quarterbacks. People don't say he's an elite quarterback enough, in my opinion. It's like, oh, the dude's not good enough. It's like, the Vikings have one of the top defenses in football, and he had a perfect passer rating, over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. On the year, Spencer, he has 16 total touchdowns and 1 interception. I mean, what are we doing here? And the Eagles are 5-2, and guess what? When they won the Super Bowl last year, they were 5-2 through 7 weeks as well. I think Jalen Hurts is absolutely one of the best quarterbacks in our game. It's just a matter of, hey, he's never going to get the respect. And that's the exact same thing that we've seen with all of the great players. It was the same thing with Tom Brady, same thing with Mahomes, and the same thing with Jalen Hurts right now. They hate you because they ain't you. And it sounds cliche, but that's the truth. It's the truth.
It's true. And Philly media is tough, but also just the media in general about Philly has always been tough. And as a Philly fan, you grow up with it. And then it's kind of one of those things, right? Like, people are like, Philly fans are like, oh, they're always coming at us, right? Like, they're always coming at the Eagles. And then if you're not a Philly fan, it's like, yeah, but y'all are all crazy, or y'all deserve it, or y'all always hype this. So it's one of those back and forths always. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I want to point this out, and you know this, but the haters tend to forget this. As a starter from beginning to end of a season, all 4 years that Jalen Hurts has been a starter, yes, this is the 5th year, we're not done with it yet. All 4 years he's been to the playoffs. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won one of them, 1 Super Bowl MVP. And like you said, and now he started off 5-2. Only quarterback this year with a perfect passer rating in a game, and he did it against the Minnesota defense. All I'm saying is this. Hurts haters punching the air Sunday night. Hurts haters punching the air today. Because listen, say what you will about him. He is, and when I say top 5, I've got him at 5. If we want to go off the dome here, Mahomes, Josh Allen, feel how you feel. But if you want to interchange them, you can. They're 1-2. I would say when healthy, it's then Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson, and then Jalen Hurts. And then you can get into who's after Hurts. That's my personal opinion of the top five. If all five guys are healthy in the NFL, that's kind of where I'm at. But man, I love Jalen Hurts. I'm glad that, say what you all the haters out there, if Jalen Hurts was on your team and like you just said, what you just pointed out about him being a winner, hey, they'd love it. They would love it. They would love it.
Exactly.
So, I've got Jalen Hurts top five. Let's see here. Yes, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith combined for 13 receptions, 304 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. Here's another stat here. Drake May became the first QB in Patriots franchise history to complete over 90% of his passes in a game with 20-plus attempts, 21 of 23, 222 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, I know because these boys have been white, you want to compare it. That's what they were doing with Mac Jones. But truly, in your opinion, Drake May, how do you feel? And it is way too early. But Drake May, do we think this is like truly, this is New England's guy? This is maybe not the next Tom Brady as far as he's going to have 7 championship rings. But is this their next guy, is Drake May? Everybody made a mistake thinking it was Mac Jones, but this one's the one.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, we can get as hyperbolic as we want. We can say whatever we want. Oh, this is the next Tom Brady. I mean, obviously to not that degree, but like in general, I mean, this dude is absolute money. And this is only his second year in the NFL. And the thing that I keep saying the most, where it's like, okay, yeah, he's a good quarterback, but realistically, Spencer, I don't think Stephon Diggs is like a top 20 receiver in football. What happens when this dude gets like an elite receiving core or an elite receiver on the outside? He's already playing like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL in year 2. He's in the MVP conversation right now, as crazy as that sounds. The Patriots are 5-2. They haven't even given the ball to their second round pick and Travion Henderson like at all. I don't see anybody really outside of Diggs and Hunter Henry catching the football, and Drake May is absolutely cooking right now. I think it could be really scary for the league when the Patriots really start to go after some top-tier receivers. They've been in the conversation for the receivers that we've been talking about, the Olaves, the Waddles, the Wilsons of the world. I know we've been talking about that a lot, but it's like, man, Drake May is putting the puzzle pieces together, and I really like the puzzle that he's creating.
I do too. And you got to think, he beat Josh Allen. He beat Josh Allen with a weapon coming off of an injury that Josh Allen wasn't able to really make look like anything the last year he was in Buffalo, and Stephon Diggs. 2 years after he left Buffalo? I mean, he's making Stephon Diggs look like what he was that last season he was with Josh Allen 2 years later. I mean, Drake May, like you said, if he had somebody besides Stephon Diggs, like a Waddle, Olave, Wilson, one of these guys, it'd be incredible. It'd be incredible. Yep. That being said, and how much of a stud he is, let's talk about these fantasy studs and duds from Sunday. We're going to start with the studs here. We're going to line for line, bar for bar, Cayden. Let you start here with one of your studs, and then we'll just go back and forth. We picked 4 each. Now, to be just for those listening and watching, we haven't told each other our list of studs and duds. We don't know each other's list of the draft either. But with these studs and duds, if we happen to have the same one, then we'll just agree and move on. But Cayden, I'm going to let you start here. Who is your first stud from Sunday? Or from Thursday as well?
Yeah,
from week 7.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to have to go with Jonathan Taylor. 16 carries, 94 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, the dude has been an absolute beast. He may win the Offensive Player of the Year. He's the favorite to win it right now. I've been blown away with the overall season that he's had. I'd put him at number 1.
I love it. I love Jonathan Taylor. He is one of the videos I made when I first started Daily Dynasty Show a couple of years ago. It was actually my biggest one for a long time. It was, I think I started it like, sometimes you got to start those TikTok videos catchy or like hooky or whatever, but it was like Jonathan Taylor, worst RB1 season since Devonta Freeman. Here's why. That RB1 season he had a few years ago legitimately was the lowest scoring RB1 season in fantasy since 2015. And obviously there's nuance for that. Derrick Henry went out. Christian McCaffrey went out with an injury. Both of those guys were on pace to have huge years. And because of that, Jonathan Taylor, who would have finished the RB3 or RB4 that year, ended up being the RB1. And it was a low-scoring RB1. The way he is playing this year is outpacing that by, I cannot remember how much. But the point is, he is outpacing that huge. Like, if he doesn't finish RB1, which he might not because of Christian McCaffrey and a couple others, even if he doesn't, this is going to be single-handedly, so far in his career, if he stays healthy, the best season he has ever had. I love Jonathan Taylor, and I also had him on my list, but I'll skip down here. My first one is going to be Bo Nix. Absolutely incredible. Finishes the QB1. Again, we already talked about it. 27 of 50, 279 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and also the 48 rushing yards with 2 rushing touchdowns, and that last rushing touchdown, absolute cinema, if you will. And the announcers, he got the block, touchdown. Oh man, it was incredible. But Bo Nix, he's gonna be my first one. Cayden, who you got next?
I'm gonna go with Quinshaw Judkins, another guy that had a hat trick of touchdowns, 25 carries, 84 yards, 3 touchdowns. This Dolphins team, this is now 3 weeks in a row that they have just been atrocious against the run, and you felt like Judkins was going to have a good game, but man, this was his coming out party. Him and Gabriel get their first wins as rookies. Big time win for the Browns, and Judkins gets the nice little hat trick.
Yeah, let's talk about Judkins for a second. Man, he is far and away, in my mind, the best running back from this rookie class so far this season. And when it comes to Judkins and more specifically his future, what do you feel about this guy, especially in Cleveland? I mean, obviously it's Cleveland, and they're going to have to figure something out QB-wise, and maybe that's a whole other conversation. But Judkins specifically, what's your thoughts on him going forward, and maybe spicy take, hyperbolic, whatever, maybe the next few years as well for him in Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be a really good running back. He's showing the flashes right now. The Browns have a great offensive line, and they are going to be addressing probably the quarterback position, if I had to guess, yet again. I just don't know if they're going to realistically say, hey, we're going to head into next season now with Gabriel and with Shedeur. We'll see. But that can only help Judkins, in my opinion, to open some things up. I like Judkins to be a really good back here for a while.
Yeah, me too. I love him this season. He's been incredible. My next stud is going to be, not even going to lie to you, somebody I hardly knew existed on the Chargers. I've seen him a couple times, but man, did he have a great game. Rookie tight end, Oronde Gadsden. Man, this guy was incredible for the few people, the very few people that started him. 7 receptions off of 9 targets, 164 receiving yards and a touchdown, even though the Chargers still lost to Indianapolis. Indianapolis having a season. But yeah, man, he was incredible. Great tight end. Definitely going to be huge on waiver wires if you want to go get him. Looks like he's been targeted quite a bit. He had 8 targets last week, 7 targets in week 3. I don't know what happened there in week 5, but since week 3, it was 7 targets, 3 targets, 1, 8 targets, 9 targets this week. I mean, that you're getting into like top tight end and a normal wide receiver 2 type of targets there for fantasy. So definitely look to Oronde Gadsden is the guy's name. Rookie tight end on the Chargers. Yeah, he had an incredible day.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, how about no? All right, who's your next one, Cayden? Let's go.
All right, well, you were just talking about the targets. What if I told you that this man had 23 targets on Thursday Night Football? I'm going with Jamar Chase. Joe Flacco kept it easy. I mean, he just said, hey, Jamar Chase, you know, you're the best receiver in football. I'm just going to throw it to you 23 times. Sounds easy enough. 16 receptions for 161 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, 23 targets. That is unbelievable. But
that's
man,
insane.
Jamar Chase, he's that dude. That's why you took him 1 overall for all you people that had him, that had that first pick in the draft.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let me ask you, are you on Twitter, Cayden? Are you on Twitter?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you know a page called Fantasy Receipts? Have you ever seen them?
I don't think I have, no.
All right. First of all, they're hilarious. So it's this page. I think they got like 30K followers, but it's Fantasy Receipts. I have no idea who runs it, but the whole point of them, they never highlight anything good. They just pull up receipts on Twitter of these fantasy analysts and NFL experts and like the terrible takes in hindsight that they gave. And I remember, luckily, no. Okay. Somebody,
that's good.
Somebody, that's good. Somebody said, the new, oh man, I'll have to find this. But the point is, he was like, you know, you have to refresh and keep looking, make sure you haven't shown up on Fantasy Receipts. And I'm like, brother, I'm right there with you. I'm like making sure I haven't landed yet. And sometimes when I have like a very bullish take, I'll even like at Fantasy Receipts, I stand by this, but in case this turns out, you know, bad, and then I always send that Jake Gyllenhaal gif where he's like waving, walking into the smoke.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, it's a classic.
But yeah, he's pulling up all these guys who like a couple weeks ago are like, yeah, this is why you need to sell Jamar Chase or, get rid of Jamar Chase. And I remember on Friday morning, he's like, did y'all listen? Did y'all listen to him? But man, Joe Flacco has single-handedly turned around all the Cincinnati Bengals fans, but more importantly, those who have shares of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in fantasy, all their fantasy teams around. I mean, I got in my main Dynasty league, my buddy Nick, he's won the last 2 years in a row. And when he has Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, kind of crazy he's got all three of them on his team, but it's worked. But anyway, when Joe Burrow goes down, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins ain't doing nothing. He loses the next 2 games in a row in fantasy. Joe Flacco comes, revives his whole year. He has won the last 2 weeks in big fashion. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But yeah, single-handedly, old man Joe Flacco, because he's doing what other teams should do, like what you just said. Hey, you're great at football. I'm going to throw you the ball. Same thing should be happening with Garrett Wilson. Same thing should happen more with A.J. Brown. But point being, Joe Flacco said, let me just do it. And I'm going to do it over 20 times. An insane game. An insane game. Speaking of targets, finally, we got to see a lot of them. Devonta Smith is my next stud here. 11 targets, 9 receptions, 183 receiving yards for, of course, the touchdown. He had an incredible day, man. Incredible day. Wide receiver 2 finish on the day yesterday, and we talked about that game. But yeah, man, Devonta Smith is my third one. Who you got last, Cayden? Who's your last one here?
All right, well, let's roll with your Philadelphia Eagles because it hasn't always been the prettiest in the passing game, and I feel like over the last 2 weeks, I've seen Jalen Hurts overthrow Devonta Smith for a touchdown. It feels just like so painful watching it, but they connected for 9 times, 183 yards and a touchdown. Big-time game from Hurts to Smitty. I got him at number 4.
Yeah, I love it. And my last one here is A.J. Brown, keeping it here with the Eagles. 4 receptions, and again, only targeted 6 times. Now, could be said he had 2 targets before halftime. Jalen Hurts, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is a Kevin Patullo issue. I think it is. I really, really think it is. And I don't know if this is a Brian Johnson thing all over again where Jalen Hurts comes out of the half and just audibles a lot. I don't know. Kevin Patullo is a mystery to me. But either way, coming out of the half, he gets 4 extra targets, scores 2 touchdowns, not out of the half, just in the game in total. 121 yards, 2 touchdowns, finishes the wide receiver 4 out of the week. A.J. Brown, absolute stud. But where there's studs, there's always duds. And the duds of the week, I'll start us off here. One of them is Kyren Williams, bro. Finished as the RB22, giving you 8 fantasy points. Yes, and that's in a full PPR league, by the way, where he rushed the ball 12 times, 54 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, so he's pretty efficient. No touchdowns, gives you 8.5 points, finishes the RB22. Absolute dud. Who you got first as your dud here, Cayden?
Unfortunately, I'm going to stick with your Philadelphia Eagles, and I've got to go with Saquon Barkley. Only 5 points on the week. It's been a tough season for him, especially for his ADP. I know a lot of people were taking him very, very high in the draft.
Yeah.
Tough week for my boy Saquon.
Yeah, man, it's been tough. Some saying maybe like a workload management type of thing, but you can't really say that when some games he's getting nearly 20 carries. So I think it's just been a tough season. For Saquon overall. My next stud here from Sunday night, Drake London, finishing as the wide receiver 34, 10 targets, but was only able to bring in 4 of them, 42 yards, no touchdowns. Drake London, 8.2 fantasy points. And in a couple of my leagues, I really needed him to come through, and boy, oh boy, did he not. But yeah, he's my second dud.
Okay, I like that. For my second dud, I'm going to go with George Kittle. A lot of people took him very high up, too. A lot of people thought he was going to be an absolute monster this season, and he still is a monster. He was getting it done in the run game last night, blocking a ton, but unfortunately did not catch one pass, so ends up with a whopping donut on the night.
Yeah, absolute goose egg. RIP. Marvin Harrison's my third one here. Man, he has been, and let me ask you, once I get done saying this, 6 targets, 2 receptions, 58 yards, no touchdowns. Wide receiver 43 finish. Wide receiver 64 finish last week. And really just an absolute putrid sophomore season here. Marvin Harrison Jr., what's your take on him? Is it really all his fault? Is it mostly his fault? I mean, where are you at with Marvin Harrison Jr. right now?
I still have so much belief in him. I don't think it's his fault. I'm just, I don't know how to say this in a nice way, I guess. I don't know with Kyler Murray. I don't know. And I want him to be good. Like, I do like him. He's had flashes, but like, dude, Brissett's come in the last 2 weeks and this offense has looked unbelievable. And Marvin Harrison Jr. got injured in the first half of that last week's game when he cooked up that Colts defense, almost won, and then they almost beat the Packers. Like, these are two of the best teams in the NFL right now. And Jacoby Brissett had the Cardinals right there in terms of winning it. I just feel like Kyler Murray, it might be time to move on from him, and it's really tough to say. It hurts me to say it, but I do believe in the Maserati.
Yeah, I'm with you, though, about Kyler Murray. I think that just those short QBs, man, those short kings, it's tough for them behind those big O-lines. Who's your next dud here, Cayden?
My next dud here is unfortunately who I thought was going to be maybe the absolute stud of the world this year that everyone thought was going to be the stud of the world. I'm going to go with Bill Krosky-Merritt. I took him later on and I was like, man, here we go. This is 2 weeks in a row now where he struggled. 4 points only, and just overall a tough week. I know the Commanders' offense really couldn't get anything going. They were already in such a big hole that it's like, hey, we're not going to run the ball 50 times, but maybe they should have established a little early on.
Yeah, I agree there. Unfortunate. My last dud is Breece Hall. Finishes the RB26, only gave you 7 points in fantasy, 11 attempts for 38 yards, but was also very inefficient, 3.45 yards per carry. Breece Hall, absolute dud, and it sucks because it's been a few weeks since he's had a good game, and then it was 4 weeks before that before he had a good game. It's been a tough season for Breece Hall. Rumors of him being traded, so we'll have to keep an eye. I hope he does. Golly, get him out of New York. But, Cayden, who's your last dud here before we move into this Monday Night Football preview?
I know we're pouring on the Dolphins, but I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle. Only 2 points. He needed to have more. I mean, no Tyreek Hill. You need to have more. You've got to be the focal point of that offense, and he just was not 2 points. Not great.
No, not good, as they say. But let's transition here into a Monday Night Football preview. We got a double header. I'll ask you about that in a second. But first game up is the Lions and the Buccaneers. You got two top offenses right now. Not two top defenses. One solid defense and the other one that hasn't been able to do too much. They're about as reliable as a screen door in a submarine in the Lions defense. But you've got the 5-1 Buccaneers going against the 4-2 Detroit Lions. Cayden, who you got winning this game? But also, what's your thoughts about heading into Monday night?
Well, I've never heard the screen door on a submarine. I kind of like that. That's a nice one. Might have to use that at some point.
Yeah, you have to.
This is interesting, Spencer, because the thing is, I originally thought like Tampa Bay was going to come into this game as the most banged up team since the San Francisco 49ers of this year, with no Bucky Irving, no Mike Evans, no Godwin, no Ibuka. Evans is going to play now, and it looks like Ibuka is going to play. And this is a 6.5 point spread. It's kind of fishy to me. It's kind of weird. I know everybody thinks the Buccaneers are the best thing since sliced bread. It feels like the Lions have got to win this one. I believe they will win. Now, I don't know about covering the 6.5, but I do like Detroit. Two really explosive offenses. I feel like Detroit, if they stick to their big guns, and that is running the football, grinding you out in the trenches, and getting to the play action, they should be able to win this game.
Yeah, offensively, I don't have any issues with Detroit. I think it's just their defense. Their defense is getting sliced and diced the last couple of weeks. But I think if they can get pressure to Baker, then I agree. I mean, at home, spread's strange. And also, too, even with Mike Evans and Ibuka playing, I don't know how healthy Ibuka is. Because literally, it was just a few days ago, he's like dang near not playing this week. And now all of a sudden he is playing. Mike Evans is coming off the hamstring. So, yeah, like you said, it's a little fishy in my mind. But, yeah, I think I've got the Detroit Lions winning this one as well. If the defense can hold up. The defense has got to hold up. If they can't, then I think the Buccaneers are going to win this one. But if the defense can hold up, then I agree with you. I think Detroit's got this one in the bag. Let's move on here to the other game. You got the Seattle Seahawks 4-2 against the 2-3 Texans. Seattle's at home. Sam Darnold's been lighting it up this season. What's your take about this game? Who do you have winning this one, Cayden? And your take more specifically, I want to get this after you tell me who's going to win this game, or maybe before, about C.J. Stroud this year.
Okay, well, I'm going to make it a little 2-in-1 answer because I think C.J. Stroud is an absolute beast from the East. I don't know if he's actually from the East. I think he's from the West Coast, actually. But C.J., I think we're both actually from California. Beast from the West, Stroudy.
Beast from the West.
Yeah, he beast from the West, exactly, because he's not the least. But C.J. Stroud is going to have an absolute monster game tonight. They need it. The defense has been unbelievable this year. The offense is finally starting to figure it out. They've slowly started to show some flashes, which has been needed considering they started 0-3, and they did play 3 pretty tough teams. But Seattle's also really good. It's tough because I am high on Seattle. I do believe that this is a playoff team. Darnold's been playing at an unbelievable level, but I think this is one of the best defenses in football. Stroud's starting to figure it out, and if that's the case, that's bad news for the Seahawks because he is a premier quarterback. He is top 10 when he puts all the pieces together.
It's a hot take, Cayden. That's a hot take right there. I am.
Has that become a hot take?
I think that C.J. Stroud. I'm on the fence, or on the side of the fence rather, that he is not a top 10 quarterback.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think C.J. Stroud is just hey, listen, just my opinion.
Fair.
I think that he is a solid QB. I think we've made a lot of excuses. Sophomore slump last season, and then what is it this year? A junior slump. I mean, he's started to figure it out, sure, but C.J. Stroud also, beginning of the season, had a lot of excuses for why the offense isn't working. And listen, I get it. There's injuries. But just, I'm not convinced that he's a top 10 quarterback. I know he had a great rookie season. Congratulations. But me personally, I'm not convinced he's top 10. And with that being said, even with figuring it out, give me the Seahawks at home. Give me Sam Darnold, who's been lighting it up. I think the Seahawks are going to win this one. We'll see. We both agree about the lines, but I kind of figured we'd differ here. Actually, no, I didn't. I did not know you were that strong about Houston, but we do differ. We do differ here. Seattle and Houston. Give me Seattle. We'll see what happens after this game. And before we transition into the most important part of this draft, of course, top 5 draft, top 5 villains. Let me ask you this about these Monday night doubleheaders. Are you a fan of the doubleheaders? And if so, why? If not, why not?
This may be more of a freezing cold take than my Stroud take, but Spencer, hear me out here. So I'm on the West Coast, and if I get a game at 4 o'clock and then I get a game at 7 o'clock, that's football for 6 hours for me, and I'm staying up, and I'm absolutely fired up because I know I've got football for minimum of 6 hours. That's amazing. Now, when it's overlapping, I'm not a fan of it, but I know a lot of the East Coast people aren't going to like this because you got to stay up until the wee hours of the night to watch this game. It starts at 10 p.m. You're not going to like it, but I really enjoy watching football for as long as I can possibly get it, and so this gives me the opportunity to watch more football on Monday.
Okay, I was prepared to fully disagree, but you brought up something that is a good point. The separated Monday night doubleheader is better than overlapping. I don't care where you live if it's overlapping. I'm not trying to figure out a math equation to figure out which channel I need to be flipping to when something's going on. I don't want to be doing any of that on a Monday night. I hate the doubleheaders that overlap. If it's spread like that, more than likely I'm watching the first one and falling asleep halfway through the second one. I mean, here on the East Coast, yeah, you definitely got that right. I ain't waiting till dang near midnight to finish a game, especially if it's a stinker. Now, if it's going to be the Denver Broncos and New York Giants fourth quarter, I'll stay up till I have to. I don't even care about that. But most of the time, yeah, I'm not. I'm not a fan of doubleheaders on Monday night. But you brought up a good point. If it's not overlapping, and who doesn't want 6 hours of football?
Exactly. Come on.
Solid point. Solid point. But this is the time I know all of you guys have been waiting for. We are doing a draft of the top 5 comic book / movie villains in our opinion. Now, Cayden, you are the guest, and this is a snake draft, and we cannot take each other's picks here. So if we have the same one, sorry, pal, that one's gone. Now, neither one of us have shared each other's notes here, so we genuinely have no idea who's picking what, where, when, why, how. But, Cayden, you were the guest. I'm going to let you go first, and then I'll get 2 back-to-back picks. You get 2 back-to-back picks until we have our top 5 listed, and then after we will mention the honorable mentions that didn't make the cut. So, Cayden, who's your 101 here of comic book / movie villains?
With my 101, I've got to go with a man that I grew up watching in my childhood thinking, okay, this guy, he's got a little something to him. He's got a little something to him that I don't know if I want to be with the good guys or I want to be with the bad guys, but I've got to go with Darth Vader here because I believe that he is one of the greatest villains of all time. I know maybe I'm sorry I stole your thunder there, but big Star Wars guys growing up. I am very, very excited that I could take him at 1.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that you would not because myself being a huge Star Wars nerd. Great pick though. Darth Vader is
Thank you.
definitely the 101. Definitely the 101. And let me just go ahead. This might be a little controversial. Might be a little controversial. But Star Wars movies. Where are we at? Give me your top 3 of the 9. Not I don't want to hear Solo and all that, which hey, good movies, but of the 9, give me your top 3. Let's go.
This is tough.
It
There's
is.
so many good ones. Like there's so many good ones. I really like the classics. I really like the classics. I would say like probably Return of the Jedi is I would say my favorite.
Yes.
That and or The Empire Strikes Back. I would say that those are probably my 2 favorites.
Mm.
Putting a number 3 is tough. I mean, there's so many good ones.
You're in a safe space here, so long as you don't like episode 8. This is a safe space. This is a safe space.
I'm just trying to think. What's the final one in that trilogy? I'm blanking on the name. The final one in that trilogy with
The
The
Last
Empire
Jet.
Strikes Back.
You talking about the original 3?
Yeah.
So you've got A
I'm
New Hope.
I'm gonna roll with. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll probably roll with those 3.
Okay, yeah, the original 3, great 3 movies there. I was with you there. I got episode 6, Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and then probably my other favorite one is episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I just Anakin. I mean the whole thing. I love it. And then of course the new 3 that came out not too long ago. Episode 7's fine. 8 ruined it. 9 was half okay, but anyway. That being said, Darth Vader was a great 101. That's where I was gonna go, but you definitely took that one. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna play the field a little bit, but my number 1 is gonna be outside of Darth Vader. Got to caveat that is gonna be Lex Luthor. I think Lex Luthor is a great, and especially if I don't know if you've seen the Superman movie that came out this year, Superman 2025. A great version of Lex Luthor. Definitely just like that is the Lex Luthor we've needed to see. And my next pick here, I can go ahead and hint to it. It is the Joker. That's my number 2. But Heath Ledger's Joker was just the Dark Knight was absolutely incredible. And that's really what we saw out of Lex Luthor in Superman 2025 was just this like not necessarily playing around as much with Superman, but also like he just hates Superman. And most of the time we're getting this like gimmicky, funny Lex Luthor in a lot of movies. This one was pure hatred, pure evil against Superman. And yeah, so I'm going to go Lex Luthor. And then number 2 is the Joker. Yeah, I'm going to go Joker.
Okay. At number 4, I guess, but so for my second pick, it's going to be kind of a new one, but I feel like maybe I was doing some research before this, and I'm going to say that Thanos does not get enough respect for being one of the greatest villains of all time. I feel like I have to take him here because he deserves respect. I'm going to say he's an underrated supervillain, one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm going to take him at number 2. This one might catch you by surprise here, and we'll see if people are going to call me a casual in the chat. I don't know where you're going to be with this. No Country for Old Men, Javier Bardem as Anton Chigurh, one of my favorite villains of all time. I mean, one of the best movies I've ever watched, but one of the greatest villains that I've ever watched. I mean, Javier Bardem absolutely kills this role. How terrifying I don't know if you've seen this movie, but how terrifying he looks. Oh my gosh, you need to see this movie. I mean, it is one of the most terrifying villains I have ever seen. It is such a classic. You've got to watch this movie and tell me what you think.
Hey, definitely will. I will get back to you on that one, and I can promise you that wouldn't have made my list. So taking him high at 3, but listen, you gave the respect that he deserves in your mind.
He deserves it.
My next one here is going to be Lord Voldemort from the Harry Potter series. Don't know if you are a big Harry Potter fan or not, but
not huge.
Lord Voldemort is definitely just like, again, just another one of those Darth Vader, like just absolute evil terror. He basically is the Darth Vader of Harry Potter. I mean, that's essentially what it is. And he's trying to kill Harry Potter the whole time. So Lord Voldemort definitely would be my number 3. Number 4, I'm going to switch back here. Going to go back to Marvel. Got to be Green Goblin. I love Green Goblin. I think if he was real, bro, if Green Goblin was like in our world, Could you imagine walking down the street at 10 p.m., a little bit dark, so we're talking about fall 10 p.m. here, and you see the Green Goblin flying around, like throwing bombs out of his side pocket and laughing with that terrible laugh? That would be creepy. That's all I'm saying. That would be creepy, and I would hate that world. But yeah, Green Goblin, he made my list here at 4.
Okay. All right. For my second to last pick, I don't know if have you ever seen the movie Inglourious Bastards?
Yes.
One of the best. I'm going to go with Hans Landa. He was, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He was absolutely unbelievable. Just another one of these characters that's like absolutely terrifying, has you at the edge of your seat the whole time. He killed this role. I'm going to put him as my second to last pick. All right, with my final pick here, this is a tough one. I'm kind of splitting hairs with a lot of the guys that I like. I might just be a little biased with who I'm going to go with here in terms of the movies that I like. But in the most recent movies that they released of Michael Myers and Halloween, he was just a freak of nature in these movies.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw all of them. The first one that they released, I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe like 6 years ago. The first one.
It was either 2019 or I think it was 2019 or maybe
2018. That was a tremendous movie. Tremendous.
Bro, that one, in my opinion, the best of the Halloween movies, in my opinion.
Yes.
And I know that some people might say recency bias. Bro, that one was so good. The next one that they made,
so good.
It was
the
okay.
last two, they felt a little rushed. They weren't as good, but it was still the same bad man Michael Myers. I mean, just unbelievable. But he was just an absolute beast through 3 movies. A beast from the East is what we'll call him. But yeah, I'm going to take him with my last one.
Love that one. Screen door on a submarine it's trademarked. I did trademark, but I'll allow you to use. You're gonna have to let me use Beast from the East. Gonna have to let me use that one. Never heard that one.
Fair enough.
Going with my last pick here, before we get to the honorable mentions. Like you, I am torn. I am torn here because, but all right. I wanna allow him the respect of making this list, and I'm gonna go Magneto. Was he the most terrifying? Maybe not, but he's an incredible villain. Incredible villain in the X-Men series, and Magneto definitely made my list. So our top 5 here, mine was Lex Luthor, the Joker, Lord Voldemort, Green Goblin, and Magneto. You had by far, I mean, you're very top-heavy here, but by far the best number 1 pick, which was Darth Vader. So congratulations. Thanos,
I appreciate that.
Javier Bardem, Hans Landa, and Michael Myers. So a great list. Y'all can let us know in the YouTube comments or in a review who had the best list. Now, let's talk about these honorable mentions. I'll start here, and then I'll let you round out the episode with your honorable mentions. But those who didn't make my cut, I had Doc Ock, Dr. Octopus from Star Wars there. Two-Face, Venom, definitely solid. And let's see, I also had Bullseye, if y'all watch Daredevil. Bane, how can you not? Ultron, Bizarro, for those of you who are Superman fans. And then I know this one might seem obscure, but I was a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan growing up, so I had to throw in Shredder. As a kid, I hated that guy. I really hated Shredder growing up. But yeah, he made the honorable mentions. Cayden, who you got here that didn't make your cut?
Right. Well, I've got 2. The first one here, similar kind of nostalgic throwback from when I was growing up. I was a really big Lion King fan, and Scar, he kind of just ruffled my feathers, to say the least. So I'm not a big Scar fan. I'll put him as an honorable mention, and then I'll kind of do a complete 180 here, and I'll go with Hannibal Lecter from The Silence of the Lambs. You go having a little fun to a little serious, kind of a complete 180 here. But yeah, I'll put those as my honorable mentions.
Yeah, nostalgia throwback. Really hated that guy. Ruffled my feather. And then, so how about Hannibal Lecter, huh? Round of
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, complete 180.
Yeah, great list. Y'all can let us know who won. But Cayden, man, couldn't be more thankful that you were able to hop on this episode today. Let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, definitely. Spencer, I really appreciate you having me on. You guys can check me out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, at Cayden's Corner. I also host a weekly radio show on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM for the NBC affiliate once a week on Saturdays from 8 to 9 a.m. Guys, thank you so much for just listening to Spencer and I. This was so fun. This was such a blast, Spencer. I really appreciate you having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait to have you back on, and vice versa. I'll have to come on your show. But you can
Yes, sir.
listen
Heck yeah.
Listen to Daily Dynasty Show wherever you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it hosts podcasts. Leave a 5-star written review if you haven't already. It definitely is a free way to support. You can follow Daily Dynasty Show on TikTok, on Twitter, on YouTube, and the Instagram battle is ongoing. So Meta has forced me off there for whatever reason, but I'm still trying to get that back. So we'll see what happens. But you can follow Daily Dynasty Show everywhere else. Leave a 5-star written review. And until the next episode, see ya.